So you're looking for a dog trainer here in Wayne, New Jersey. Let's figure out how to find the absolute best one for you and your pup.
I mean, picture it, right? You're having these amazing, calm walks around Packanack Lake, or maybe you just want your dog to not jump all over guests when they come over. Whatever your goal is, it really all boils down to finding that right training partner.
So here's what we're going to go over. First, what does good training even look like? Then, how to find a real pro. We'll talk about the different training formats, what you can expect to pay here in Wayne, some must-ask questions, and we'll wrap up with local rules and resources. All right, first things first, let's get into what good, effective, and, humane training really is. Because the philosophy, the whole approach, that's the foundation for everything. So the gold standard these days, and really what you want to be looking for, is something called positive reinforcement. It's pretty simple, actually. It's just using rewards, treats, a happy good boy, their favorite squeaky toy, to encourage the behaviors you do want. It's not about punishment. It's about building a great relationship and making learning fun for your dog.
And the real end goal here isn't just a dog who can sit and stay. It's about having a dog who can just handle life. A dog that's not freaking out at the vet or lunging at everything during a walk in the park. It's about building a confident companion for all those real-world moments.
Okay, so you want a positive reinforcement trainer. Great, but how do you spot a real expert from someone who just says they are? Well, a great place to start is by checking out their credentials. Now, you're going to see a lot of letters after trainers' names, and it can look like a bit of an alphabet soup, right? But these letters actually mean something. Things like KPA-CTP or CPD-TK, they tell you that a trainer has actually gone through a serious program and passed exams. And if you're dealing with bigger challenges like serious fear or anxiety, you might want to look for even more advanced certs, like an IABC-CDBC or CBCC-KA.
All right, let's move on to the how. How is this training actually going to happen? There are a few different formats, and there's really no one-size-fits-all answer. It completely depends on your dog, your goals, and your life.
Okay, so you've got group classes. These are awesome for puppies, socialization, and just practicing basic manners around other dogs. Plus, they're usually the most cost-effective option. The downside? You get less one-on-one attention. Then there are private lessons. These are perfect for tackling specific things that happen in your house, like barking at the door or pulling on the leash in your neighborhood. It's totally customized, but it does cost more per session. And finally, you have board and train. This is the super intensive option where your dog goes to live with the trainer. You get fast results, for sure, but it is the most expensive, and of course, you have to be okay with your dog being away for a bit.
Okay, let's get to the question everyone's thinking about: money. What's this actually gonna cost? Let's look at the typical prices for dog training right here in the Wayne area.
So just for a baseline, if you're looking at a single private lesson at your home, you're probably looking at somewhere between $120 and $200. And here's how that breaks down for other services. A typical 4 to 6 week group class, that'll likely be in the $160 to $310 range. If you buy a package of private lessons, say 4 to 6 of them, you're looking at $450 to $950. And that board and train we talked about, that's a bigger investment, usually starting somewhere around $2,200 and going up from there.
So you've narrowed it down to a few trainers you like. The next step is a consultation, and you should really think of this as an interview. You're hiring them for a really important job, so you want to make sure it's a good match.
And here are some absolutely key questions you should ask. Number 1, what training methods do you use? You're listening for positive reinforcement. 2, what are your credentials and how do you keep learning? You want someone who stays up to date. 3 is huge. How are you going to tailor this for my dog and my life? Ask them how they track progress, what's my homework going to be between our sessions, and finally, this is really important for more complex behavior issues, ask if they're willing to work with your vet. Being a responsible dog owner in Wayne isn't just about training. It's also about knowing the local rules of the road, so to speak. So let's quickly go over what you need to be aware of right here in town. It really comes down to 2 big things. First, the leash laws. Your dog has to be on a leash in any public space unless you're in a marked, fenced-in dog park. A standard 6-foot leash is always a good idea. Second is licensing. Every dog in Wayne Township needs to be licensed every single year. And to get that license, you'll need to show proof that their rabies vaccination is up to date. So, once you start that training, where can you go to practice? Well, we have some great spots. The Wayne Dog Park over at Memory Park is perfect for working on off-leash skills like recall in a safe, fenced area. The trails around Packanack Lake, they're great for practicing your leash walking with real-life distractions like joggers and squirrels. And for a really beautiful walk where you can work on focus, check out High Mountain Park Preserve. Okay, so we've covered a lot. What's the real first step to having that better, easier life with your dog here in Wayne?
It all starts with picking the right partner, a trainer who's going to help you build a real bond of trust with your dog. Because that's what this is all about, having a relationship that works everywhere, whether you're just hanging out at home or you're out exploring all the amazing trails we have. I hope this helps you get started on what is a really fun journey.